All right, awesome. Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Eloisa Romero. I am an outreach and recruitment counselor at the University of Cal State Fullerton, California State University, Fullerton. And it is such a pleasure to be here with you all. We have an amazing team from the School of Nursing that will be sharing some information about how to apply, the application process, what it means to be a nurse. So I do want to make an announcement that this session is only for our incoming first year students. So this is only for high school students. We will be having a session for our transfer students on November 15 at 1 p.m. So please make sure you check our webinar website for more information and how to register for that event. But just want to let you all know that this session is only for our incoming first-time freshmen, so our current senior students. With that being said, I'm gonna go in and introduce Michelle, which she will be taking the lead on this presentation. Thank you so much, Michelle, Rachel, and Joanna for being here with us today. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, welcome everybody. We'll start here. That's me. I'm Michelle. I'm one of the advisors here in the School of Nursing, who is kind of overseeing this program. And then Shauna.
My name is Shauna Pierce, and I am the pre-licensure coordinator, as well as I teach in this school. And I also got my DNP at Cal State Fullerton. So we're going to start with the Zoom poll. So question number 1. Do you love science? See the answers coming in. Great. So 100% of you love science, which is fantastic because the nursing profession is all about the sciences. So how the body works, anatomy, physiology, chemistry, biology, all of those pieces. So good answer on that. So we're going to start with the role of a nurse and where nurses work. So what is a nursing role? We assess patients. We assess their vital signs, their health history. We take a look at them, their families. We draw blood, we do other tests. A big part of nursing is administering medications. So we calculate and administer medications in all varieties. Education is a huge component of nursing, and we educate patients and their families. And then we coordinate with the medical team, and we kind of take the lead on that, especially in acute care facilities, making sure that everybody else is aware of what's going on with the patient. And common places where nurses work are hospitals. So the 4 million nurses in the United States, most of them work in acute care facilities or hospitals. Nurses can also work in clinics. So this includes community clinics as well as private clinics. Nurses are also found at assisted living facilities, military bases. There's nurses in the military, home health, prisons, and schools. In schools, they can either be school nurses or can actually teach in a school. So now we have a second Zoom poll question. Can you deal with bodily fluids? Nobody's answering. There we go.
I think we had a tech error.
Okay. I'm like, there's no answers. We have 100% on this too. So that is fantastic because nurses deal with bodily fluids all the time. So great answer on that. So there's multiple paths into healthcare. One is to be a medical doctor, and this can be an MD or a DO, and they lead the treatment plan for patients, and they're responsible many times for making a diagnosis. Then there's also physician's assistants who work with doctors, and they work as part of a medical team, and they are under MD supervision. And then nurses, which are the profession that's most involved and integral with patient care. And there's multiple paths that you can take to become a nurse. And so when you talk to nurses, every single person has a different nursing journey, which is one of the reasons that I love the profession. So there's RNs, there's also nurse practitioners. So that's what that NP is. There's CRNAs, which are nurse anesthetists. So they help in surgery and in labor and delivery, administering anesthesia. The DNP, which is the doctor of nursing practice. There's PhDs that do research. So all different paths for nurses. And then a nurse practitioner actually works more autonomously than a PA. And this is based on different state laws. But so nurse practitioners can have their own clinics and can be found in different places throughout the state. We have a third and final Zoom question. So the third one is, do you have a strong attention to detail? So we have 100% on this one as well. That is fantastic. So the reason for that is that we need to make sure that nurses do have a strong attention to detail. We have to notice the minor shifts in what a patient looks like or how they're acting. And then to make sure we give medications correctly, it's very important that we really pay attention to the details of all of that. And so that's 100% on all three questions. So I think we're good there.
All right. Did I skip a slide? No, I didn't. Is this me or is this you, Shauna? Do you remember?
That was you.
Okay. I thought so. So hi, everyone again. Michelle, I'm one of the nursing advisors. I want to talk about impaction. Some of you may have heard this term before. And essentially what this means is when a program is impacted or a major is impacted, it means that we have more applications than we have seats. So if we have 100 seats, 200 people apply. Even if 105 people apply, right? We're impacted. Too many applicants, not enough seats. And so here at Cal State Fullerton, all of our different pre-licensure pathways are impacted. We receive a lot of applications for the limited number of seats we have. And that's actually throughout the state of California. You know, it's kind of a double edge here. We are so happy that so many people want to be nurses going forward, but it's impacted our entire state. And so nursing school is going to be tough to get into, but impacted does not mean impossible. We admit and we graduate nurses every single year, as do all other nursing schools in the state of California. So it just may mean applying at more places than you were anticipating, but you'll definitely get there if you are determined to get there. Here at Cal State Fullerton, we admit 40 students into this program every year. And a common question we get is, there's a nursing shortage. Why would you only admit 40 students? And there's lots of reasons for this. One of the main reasons is that we are sort of governed by the Board of Registered Nursing, that they are the organization here in California that grants you the RN license once you graduate with your degree in nursing. We do not give you your license here at Cal State Fullerton. We give you the education and the degree to be eligible for that license. And they have restrictions on the program size because they want to make sure that we meet the needs of all of our students and we're not over admitting and then missing needs of some students. Additionally, with our clinical rotations, which are a required part of the program, those are kind of like your internships at the hospital. You would go to labor and delivery, to mental health, to med surg, all the different areas. And of course, if you're thinking about being a patient in the hospital, you probably don't want 10 students by your bedside and a faculty member and your nurse, right? And so we have to keep clinical rotations at a small size. And there's only so many hospitals in our area. And that goes into the next one, which is, of course, our hospital size capacity. And then the faculty to student ratio. I'm sure you wouldn't want to be in a class of 100 students to one faculty, right? This small size of 40 students really makes it so our faculty can really help students individually with their classes. So once a student graduates from our program, the first thing that they're going to do is, like I said, with the Board of Registered Nursing, they're going to sit for that state exam, which we call the NCLEX. That is how you become a registered nurse. And so once they sit for that exam and pass it, they are now an RN. They also qualify after graduating from our program for something called a Public Health Nurse Certificate, or PHN. This is a class that we have in our program that qualifies our students to be public health nurses upon graduation. A lot of our students also end up at hospital new grad programs. These are kind of like internship training programs that get you in the door of a hospital in a position, and they do all of the training and get you going in that area that you're in. We also have our students go to work in clinics, nursing homes, doctors' offices, and a lot of our students go and pick a specialty. When you graduate from nursing school with your Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, you have what we call a generalized degree. You're going to learn everything, whether you like it or not. You're going to learn mental health. You're going to learn labor and delivery. You're going to learn med surg. You're going to learn public health, all of those areas. Once you graduate, you can then decide which area is the area for me. And you can go and specialize in that area by getting a lot of experience in a position, or you can go and get your Master's of Science in Nursing, PhD, your DNP, and so forth to get further education in that specialty as well. So this is what it sort of looks like when our students graduate our program. Here at Cal State Fullerton, we have these three common options for getting your degree in nursing. The one we're, of course, talking about today is our traditional BSN. This is for students coming right out of high school. So hopefully most of you are seniors in high school that are here tonight. This would be the program for you. We also have a transfer program, as mentioned at the beginning, which is for our transfer students. And then we have a different type of transfer program that is the RN to BSN program. This is for students who receive their associate's degree in nursing at the community college and then want to come back to Cal State Fullerton to finish their degree, get a BSN. Now, I do want to note that if you do get an associate's degree in nursing at community college, you can sit for that NCLEX exam to be licensed to get your RN. So some students will do this route so that they go to school for that ADN, they become an RN, then they go back to school to finish their BSN. So there's lots of different options, just like Shauna mentioned at the beginning, for obtaining your nursing license and your education here in California. But of course, we're going to be talking about our freshman program. So this is what we're looking for the application here. You must have completed your A through G courses. You can and of course, graduate. You can also have your GED. You normally would need to complete the SAT and ACT exam. We're going to talk about the changes for fall 21 due to COVID. And then you, of course, have to complete a Cal State Apply application. Within that Cal State Apply application, when you select Cal State Fullerton and you select the appropriate nursing major, you're going to see what we call the fourth quadrant. It's an extra page of the application that will talk you through the letters of recommendation that are required, the personal statement essay that is required, and the GPA reporting that's required. Additionally, here in California, in order to be licensed as a nurse, you have to have a Social Security number or an ITIN, an individual taxpayer identification number. So we are looking for students who have at least one of, or that have one of these so that they are able to get licensed upon graduation. Now, as you can see at the bottom there, we normally get at least a couple thousand applications. And as I mentioned, we do have those 40 spots. So I always tell students, try not to be discouraged if you are not admitted. The majority of students, unfortunately, aren't due to our size restriction. But like we talked about already, there are so many options for nursing in California. So if you don't get in here in this program with Cal State Fullerton, definitely keep exploring those other options. So for fall 21, there have been some adjustments made due to COVID. Okay, we are no longer requiring the SAT or ACT exam, and it won't be considered or looked at if you do submit those scores. So that means we're not using that eligibility index. We're basically only going to be looking at your GPA. Okay. Everything in the Cal State Apply application is the same. The letters of recommendations, the essay, and the GPA reporting. Those letters of recommendation, you have, even though the application closes on November 30th, your recommenders have until December 17th to submit their part. Okay. And those instructions are inside the application as well as on our School of Nursing website. Something else that we look at for considering admission is grade trends. We're going to look at your freshman reported GPA, your sophomore GPA, and your junior GPA to calculate grade trends as part of how we decide admission. And then the top candidates are going to have an interview. And these will not be in-person interviews, of course, due to COVID. These will be virtual interviews with our faculty, and they'll take place in the spring. And if you are moved forward in the application process, we will do everything via email through the email address that you use on your Cal State Apply application. Okay. So because we receive, 2,000 to 4,000 applications, and we obviously can only admit 40, we want to make sure that you are very aware of those other options that you have to become a nurse still. So, and one option is to go to community college, complete your general education or GE, as well as your prerequisite courses for nursing, the courses that Shauna talked about earlier, things like microbiology, human anatomy, all of that good stuff. And then you can transfer to a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing or BSN program. Another option would be completing those GEs and those prerequisites and getting that associate's degree in nursing at community college, and then transferring to a BSN program from there. So as you can see in the second part here on this slide, for those transfer students who do go the ADN route, as I mentioned, they could sit for their RN license after getting the ADN. They can transfer here by meeting the transfer requirements to Cal State Fullerton and applying through Cal State Apply. And this program actually admits in both fall and spring semesters, and there's not a separate nursing application. There is no letters of recommendation, things like that. And this program offers online and face-to-face formats. So this program is very flexible in comparison. And something that's not here but should be here is this pathway is not impacted. So we do admit all qualified students to this pathway. Again, this is for students who already have their associate's degree in nursing. So if you decide to go to the community college route and get that associate's degree in nursing, then come to Cal State Fullerton. So I definitely encourage all students to visit our website. We have a ton of information on there, everything someone would need to know about applying to our program, learning about our program, checking out our curriculum, everything is there. Our website, I will say, is not super mobile friendly, so I definitely recommend doing this on a computer. And we have a left-hand navigation for each of our different pathways on our website, and that's where you're going to get all of the information. Frequently asked questions, the exact application process, all of that good stuff. So please take the time to check that out. And then once you've done that, if you have any questions, you can always email us. Myself and the other nursing advisors are in this email account all day, nursing@fullerton.edu. So you can email us your questions and we'll get back to you with those answers. And I believe that's all I have for the presentation, and we could take some questions now. So do we have any questions, Rachel?
I answered a couple already, so I can go over those if you want, or we can answer any other questions that come in.
Sure. Let's see. So yeah, it looks like, oh yeah, I'm going to say these out loud because we are recording. So for the video sake, so someone did ask, does Cal State Fullerton accept transfer students? So we did cover that, that we do have some transfer pathways, not this particular program we're talking about this evening, but our other pathways do. We also have someone who said, if students aren't accepted in nursing, will Fullerton consider them for their alternate major? And yes, that, just like Rachel put in the chat there, that decision is up to Cal State Fullerton admissions. In the past, what they have done has been evaluating students who have not made it into the nursing major to evaluate them for regular Cal State Fullerton admission. And they have in the past sometimes offered other majors to those students, but it would be a great idea to check in with them this year to see if they are still continuing that process. And the other question we have there in the chat is, if they're not accepted into nursing, can they reapply? And just like Rachel put in the chat there, we are not able to take current Cal State Fullerton students into our nursing program. So essentially the options would be being admitted as a first-year student, as a freshman, or attending, community college, completing all of the prerequisites and the GEs, and then applying as a transfer student into our nursing program. So either of those options would get you here to Cal State Fullerton. But if a student attends as, undeclared major or a biology major or something like that, they would not be able to apply for nursing at that time. Do we have any other questions? I hope that by no questions, it means we answered everything with our presentation. All of the information on our programs is on our website. So I definitely, like I said earlier, encourage everyone to visit there. I think we have just about everything on there. We try to, and if not, we definitely can answer you through email. A question that just came in is there a link to register for transfer? I'm not sure if it means for applying for the transfer program or for our next webinar. But if it is for the webinar, we will send out a link, yes, once we have one. And for and if it was for our transfer program, that would be on our website, would be to apply for that program. Do we have any other questions?
All right. Well, thank you so much, Michelle, for all the amazing information, as well as Shauna, for all the amazing information. We appreciate so much. This recording will be on our YouTube page. I'll try to upload it as soon as possible. So if you want to go back and reference it, you're more than welcome to. But if you have any more questions, we're going to end the webinar session right now. And thank you so much for being here. Have a great day.